Today I'm going to talk about some of my ideas about technology, about connections between extremes or between things that are near, and so forth. So imagine that we have, according to quantum physics, creation out of nothing, right? So what does that mean? Here I have a piece of technology, right? And this piece of technology works wirelessly. So it emits frequencies at a given wavelength. Of course, the speed of light is wavelength times frequency. So if it has frequency, it has wavelength. And the speed of light is 3 times 10 to the 8 meters per second in a vacuum. Here in air, it's about that. You know, it might slow down a little bit and so forth. But the whole point is that creation from nothing, we have fluctuations everywhere in space. Particles that propagate in space, they're constantly changing flavors, or you have out of nothing, you have formation of a particle and an antiparticle, and then they exist briefly, and then they meet each other again and they annihilate each other. So you have matter and antimatter. You can have +1 and -1. When you add them both, you get 0. So you got nothing there. Well, light, when light propagates in space, it undergoes fluctuations as well, right? From light, E equals mc squared, in which light is a form of energy, you have the creation of matter. Energy equals m, mass times the speed of light squared, according to Albert Einstein. And this is true because we use this equation for many of our understandings of nuclear physics and nature in general. So light is a form of energy. And since we're all made of matter, we're all made of energy, and we're all made of light. So out of nothing came all of creation. Out of light came all the mass that we see. And matter and antimatter, you have +1 -1, which equals 0. When matter is added to antimatter, you get nothing. However, when you separate the two, you get something out of nothing. So nothingness is something. True? And what does that have to do with this piece of technology? Well, this works through oscillations. It emits light at a given frequency. Bluetooth is able to connect it to a device. So we got fluctuations, we got waves everywhere, right? And why am I holding this book? This book is one of the things I've wrote in the past, which I'll make several videos about this stuff in the future, right? From nothing, everything came to be, correct? A tiny cosmic seed was brought forth as a result of quantum fluctuations, because whenever you separate matter from antimatter, you got creation. And we all believe in science, and even non-scientists believe in that everything had a point source, a beginning, right? But could there be several point sources throughout infinity? Could there be several point sources throughout space? Yes. And that's why we believe also in a multiverse. Oh, so there are things that can be bigger than the universe, the multiverse per se. And how many universes are there? We cannot answer this question because anything beyond the universe is beyond of our understanding, beyond our grasp. We cannot see outside of the universe, but we can, because we can barely see within our own universe. All of the exoplanets that we found in the galaxy are very near to us in the cosmic scheme of things. So, this connection and the belief that we all came from the one thing, and technology makes us all connected at the speed of light, this just brings to mind wisdom. Technology is connecting us to the natural world because everything is part of the natural world. Just about everything. So, artificial things are the resources to build artificial things. Artificial, like a knife or a fork or a school backpack or a DSLR camera or a telescope. These are artificial things, but these resources were taken from the natural world, from the ground or from the air or from the water, and so forth. And What we need to figure it out is, since we're all connected, how can we benefit from this connectedness? Because connection could also be harmful. Like, for example, we have a flux of radiation, which, although it's part of the natural world, it can cause you harm, because we also live in a universe where good and evil is right next to each other, right? Where we have the dangers present everywhere we go, and everything that exists, knowing that everything's a fluctuation, everything's a frequency. So knowing that we have the good and the evil right next to each other, a topic several philosophers have argued for many ages and stuff. What is the source of everything? Everything came from one tiny cosmic seed called the singularity. And there was the Big Bang and an expansion of the universe, creation of everything out of nothing. Within this everything, within all these fluctuations, and within all these probabilities, there are good and bad things. So, which is why we got to be very careful. And one of the things that makes philosophers think and wonder is about all the complexities of the natural world.